Can you show everybody how you like to go for rides and go see stuff and go for a trip? What do you think? You want to go? Today, Flynn and I are sharing with you a fun, dog-friendly day trip. Say that a couple times in a row. I already have, so I know how that goes. Our neighbor wanted to go and see Alamo Lake, and that is a lake that's like an hour and a half from here. We're in the Quartzsite, Arizona area, and day trips are fun. There's actually a lot to do and see around here. Most people don't know that. I'll volunteer that information. The first winter I was here, I didn't think there was much to do either, but there actually is. There's different state parks and things. So we said, let's take the dogs and let's go. He's got a wonderful dog, Zebo, which you're seeing pictures of, hopefully now. And so the dogs get along well, and so we put them in the back seat of the truck and took off. The first stop was a very small town. It's not really a blink and miss it, but I don't even know if there's a stoplight. I don't think there's a stoplight. Very small. To see a stone building in Salome. And I think that's how you say it. It's S-A-L-O-M-E. So it's not Shalom, it's not Salome, it's Salome. Anyways, so this is a very interesting building because you can see it's very rustic looking with the stones. And so we stopped to have a look at it. Somebody put some hitch post kind of looking things on it, but if you look below it, Dave pointed this out, I have to give him credit, you'll see that there's some concrete pads there. And so it looks like maybe it was actually a gas station. And then somebody came along and put up the hitching posts so that it looks like it's older. Hard to say, but it's an interesting building. And for me personally, I loved the positive graffiti. How often do we see graffiti that's not positive, right? Or it's just, you know, tagging or whatever. But I love it. So I made sure I got some video of that for you. Next stop was Alamo Lake. Now, it was still another hour away or more. And so, you know, if you need to be traveling and visiting and hanging out with people you like. So just make sure that if you're going to be on this ride, it's with somebody that can appreciate the beauty of the area around you. So what happened was, it's a long drive, but it's a lot of nature. It's a lot of desert, and you get to see it change as you go up the hills and down into the valleys and things like that. Now, also, please make sure that your dog's been watered well, right? And gets a chance to go potty, because an hour and a half or so, some dogs definitely will have to get out and go. We enjoyed the drive because the desert landscape really is quite a variety. And the great part about the road getting there is that it was very quiet. We had a couple cars go by. Nobody, I don't think too many were behind us, or if they were, it wasn't a big deal. And so you can go slow when you want to, enjoy the scenery. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm in my adventure mode, I want to feel like there is nobody else around, and that road did that for me. I got to look, I got to enjoy, and being a passenger, which I hardly ever get to be, I got to see a lot. The dogs got to, you know, get out a couple times, and we'll show you some videos of that too, but I just think it's important when you go adventuring to just try to soak it all in and enjoy the moment. So you'll see I don't have a lot of video or pictures, but it's because I try to live in the moment with it. In one area that we drove into, we noticed that the area was filled with saguaro cactus, or cacti, I should say. And it felt like kind of like their version, or the desert version of a forest, right? So if you're from back east like me, or, you know, anywhere that has a lot of trees, right? Whether it's pine or deciduous where they lose the leaves or whatever, well, they're usually kind of tight together in a forest. These guys are not tight together technically, like what we're used to, but they are, because saguaros are usually really spread out. This one area was gorgeous. It was kind of, you know, it's kind of protected, but of course it got full sun that it needed, and you could tell that the water must stick around a little bit more because it's a lower area. But I wanted to show you that video, and we actually took that on the way back out, so that you can see the sun is a little bit different. But I thought that you would enjoy that because it's really unique. You don't see that very often. We got to the lake area, and it really is beautiful, and I'm gonna let you listen right now and hear the lapping and the sounds. The Bill Williams River is what is dammed up at Alamo Park, you know, the lake. That's where it comes from. So it's also known, apparently, I didn't know this, I'm not into fishing, but it's known, that lake, for its largemouth bass. So if you're into fishing, you might want to put that on your bucket list to get there and enjoy it. It was very pretty. The lake, that beautiful color. I just loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. Now there's also campsites there. We were kind of checking into that too. There's primitive, which means there's no utilities at all. $25 a night. So it's kind of steep, but I think that's kind of a going rate now for state parks. I know Florida, they're not cheap anymore either. And then the other ones that have some utilities, or, you know, whether it's just electric or electric and water, they start at 40 and they go up. I think I saw up to 50. But anyways, just to give you an idea, this is February 2025 that we went and had a look. Now on the way back out, after we got to see the dam, and by the way, I'm putting the sign in there because it gives a lot of great information on who the heck Bill Williams was. He's quite a character, it looks like. He got into doing all sorts of things. He used to disappear for months at a time. And, you know, when certain things would dry up for him to make money, then he would go and do other things like scouting and, you know, guiding people. So he had quite an interesting life, it sounds like. And he was very independent. He actually did marry into a American Indian tribe. So he's a interesting characters. I have that on there if you want to read about him. And then, of course, about the actual lake. So all that information is there. So you can just pause it and have a look. I'm not going to go into it too much. I figure you can read it if you want to know more about it. You can see how beautiful it is. On our way out, somebody, I'm not going to tell you who, had a craving for ice cream cone. So anyways, for like weeks. So what we did is we went to the camp store to see if they had any ice cream. It's such a tiny store that looked like from the outside that I thought there's no way there's ice cream there. Well, they did. They had ice cream cones, ice cream sandwiches, and I think a couple other kinds. So we were happy. We got some ice cream, and then we headed back out. And by the way, their staff was super friendly, and I want to say that because sometimes that is not the case at places, but they were really sweet people. On the way out, we saw a sign saying wild burros, kind of like a heads up, right? A warning in case they're crossing in front of you or something like that. And what the great part is, instead of, you know how often you see a sign and you're like, where is it? Where's the animal? Well, guess what? We got to find them. They came right up after that. We got to see. And so Dave backed up the truck so I could actually get some video to show you of the wild burros grazing and enjoying themselves out there. Now, I also have read that they have become a problem. I don't know about so much in that area because it's wild and open, but there's some towns where they really are causing problems, and they will kick and kill or try to kill and bite your dog. So please do not have your dog anywhere near them. If they come up near your car or something, have their windows up, whatever. Just to save your dog from any injury. So here's a really interesting thing that I had never heard before. It's a legend about donkeys or burros. By the way, if you don't know what that meant, burros, donkeys, same thing. I didn't even know this, and Dave shared this with me, that after Jesus rode the donkey or the burro into Jerusalem, when he was greeted, and you know, Palm Sunday, when everybody's putting down the palms and everything to greet him and to hail him and to celebrate him, that legend goes that then the cross, dark stripe, you know, cross that shows up on the back of the burro or the donkey, that happened at that time. So that's an old legend that has gone down through history and through time. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's pretty neat to think about that animal was in service. Another legend that has come out of that also is, instead of that version, is that the donkey was there when Jesus was crucified, and the shadow of the cross laid on his back and made an impression on it. So there's a couple different legends depending on the culture and the people. But if you're interested, I will put a link to the website where I learned about it so that you can read more about it if you'd like to. And it's just kind of fitting that this is Lent right now and Easter's coming up. And so just kind of a neat thing to think about as we enter into that time. So if you want a day trip that's fun for the dogs, dog friendly is the only thing I want to do, right? I'm just going to be really blunt right now. I've been to Joshua Tree, not dog friendly. Don't go if you want to take your dog with you. I've been to the Badlands in South Dakota, not friendly, okay, for dogs. So I took Flynn in there. I am glad I went, but it was frustrating that you can't take him any farther than the parking lot. Believe me, I do understand it to a point. A lot of people ruin it. We're not those people, right? You and I are not those people. So something to keep in mind. But a great place to go, which still blows my mind, is the Grand Canyon. They're so dog friendly. So I'm all about finding dog friendly places to be. And this place, Alamo, was dog friendly. It is like a $10 day fee, you know, to go in and look around, which we weren't there that long, but it still was fun and worth it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed learning about the dam and the lake and everything. And we'll see you next time.